Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Throws Custom T-shirts and accessories. We are sponsored by the Ice Shaker, sponsored by Make It Mac. You guys can also go out and buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel via www.chaseandthrows.com. Don't forget to purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. Follow Make It Mac on Instagram, Facebook. We will be getting that up and running. We've got we say this every week, especially with football season up and running, but this is a very football heavy show today, and as it is always every week with football season starting up. But we're going to kick things off talking basketball. Last week we had some huge monumental trades happening within the Eastern Conference, and we're going to start it off with what I think was the biggest trade, and that was Damian Lillard going to the Bucks. Huge trade. Ben, a three-team trade here. The Blazers shipping out Damian Lillard, receiving DeAndre Ayton, Jrue Holiday for a short time being there, a 2029 first-round pick from the Bucks, and 2 first-round pick swaps with the Bucks as well for 2028, 2030. The Suns, the third team in that three-way deal, acquiring Grayson Allen from the Bucks, Keon Johnson from the Blazers, Nasser Little from the Blazers, and Yusuf Nurkic as well. So basically, center for center. Ben, I think the Milwaukee Bucks, even still with the Jrue Holiday trade, which we will get to in a couple minutes, if you're not up to speed on who the Celtics got rid of, we'll get you up to speed on that in a second. But right now in this moment, I know James doesn't like this when I say this, but right now in this moment, even with Jrue Holiday still on the Celtics, I still feel like the Bucks are the powerhouse in the Eastern Conference. Ben, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to disagree with that, Josh. We're going to have to take the easy road. I know we're talking a little before the show. What we're going to do on this one, I'll take the easy road. They're the best. They're the best in the East right now. We're just going to have to go off paper. Even though I'm a big supporter, I know everyone's, I think it's about 50-50, Josh, on the Jrue Holiday trade. I'm just getting to that right now. I'm a big supporter of that trade. But Dame Lillard, Giannis, and Middleton. If you can keep all those guys healthy, if Middleton can stay healthy throughout the postseason and not, sort of get out of these series, just he sort of comes into the postseason a little banged up, you see him, kind of bear the load of the regular season because Giannis has injury concerns as well. So if this Milwaukee team can stay healthy, Josh, this is, we're looking at number 2, unfortunately. It's just too much star power. I am a little concerned with the lack of depth. Listen, Grayson Allen, I know he's not the most likable guy, Josh, but he played a role in that team. He gave up a bunch of depth in that trade to the Suns, which is why I think, listen, the Suns, that's a sneaky winner in this trade, Josh. Getting Nurkic, getting guys like Allen, getting all this depth around this team. That team needed depth, Josh. They were just, had KD, Booker and Chris Paul. That's about it. So now they got the depth behind those superstars. So I really like the Suns move in that trade. I like what the Suns did in that one. There's a sneaky winner in this, but obviously Bucks the biggest winner, Josh. And I'm going to give it right now. It's hard to say, and I love disagreeing with Jimmy, but I think the Bucks are ahead of the Celtics right now on paper. I got to see how this team, plays out. Obviously, both of them, but I got to give it to the Bucks. You can't. It's just too tough. It's just too easy, Josh.
No, I agree. That's a look right there at their core. You got Damian Lillard, Giannis, Brook Lopez, who just, I feel like is like aging with fine wine. He's been very underrated for that team. And Chris Middleton, I know me and James got in a little debate earlier, but you look at that, they're very top heavy. I agree. And Ben already kind of brought that up, alluded to, one of our favorite words here on Time on Talks. You already kind of alluded to that a little bit in the fact that, the Bucks kind of scraped a little bit of that depth, getting rid of guys like Grayson Allen, moving on from Jrue Holiday as well, who I thought was one of their pivotal playmakers, within the last few years for them. Huge contributor to that championship team. And we're going to talk a little bit about Jrue Holiday within the next couple minutes coming to the Celtics. And again, I want to preface this. I am a massive I'm not a green teamer because I'm realistic with the Celtics, and they have that like Cowboys to them where it's like, all right, like, they've at least made it to the championship, but my expectations are dumbed down a little bit because I know the writing on the wall. We get excited and then a disaster happens. And I think Jrue Holiday is the best fit at point guard for us in terms of moving forward from Marcus Smart defensively. You lost Grant Williams, who brought a lot of defense. We lost Rob Williams as well. Both those Williams squared there. Those guys were huge key contributors on defense. And again, Jrue Holiday gives you that upside as a point guard. He gives you that guard depth. Him and Derek White defensively will be a nightmare for the front courts matching up against us. But again, going back to this Bucks, going back to Damian Lillard, here's our little screen here. You look at those two superstars on the left side of the screen. You can't go wrong. It's a star-studded league. I think the Celtics, and James was giving me crap for this earlier, thinking that the Celtics had more depth than the Bucks. I think the Celtics do have depth, but you've also got to be realistic. We've lost a lot of key guys who have been here for a while. Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, Grant Williams. These guys were all, cornerstones in our late push that we've had, after Kyrie. Even during Kyrie, some of these guys were here. I like the Peyton Pritchards of the world. I like our draft picks, but again, I don't think we're super, super deep. And people talk about Chris Middleton and his injury concerns. Same thing for Kristaps Porzingis as well. You swap him in with Rob Williams. I love that. I think Kristaps adds a lot more offensively. I'm not going to sit here and go crazy like the Green Teamers and say the pick and roll defense of Kristaps, he's like a nightmare in the paint defensively. That's just not true. He had a very solid defensive season last year. He was playing on a pretty bad Washington team. And again, I don't want to sit here and knock the Celtics, but I do think that this Damian Lillard trade to the Bucks is even more detrimental to the Eastern Conference as a whole than it would have been if Damian Lillard went to the Heat. I didn't really see this coming. I think it's perfect for Giannis. I know James said this last week, and I couldn't agree with him anymore. It's perfect for Giannis. It keeps him to stay. Now you've got two superstars and a fringe. You've got a star over there in Chris Middleton. He's a fringe. We've seen him show flashes as well. I'm not going to say superstar for Chris Middleton, but he's shown he can be a number 2 on your team. Now you're asking him to be the number 3. I like this Bucks team. I love this trade for them. I give it an A-, because, losing Jrue Holiday obviously stinks. You lost a lot of defense in that, and Grayson Allen as well. I like the Celtics trade. We can get to that now. We can kind of show that one, but I still think that the Bucks right now, and again, the Celtics aren't. It's not like this. It's not like it's not super far away. It's more like this, and I think it makes it like this because Damian Lillard is there. And again, I love that Jrue Holiday move. I love picking him up. I really, really do. Hopefully, he can break our little curse of point guard streak. Because every point guard that comes in here, it ends up in a disaster, whether it be Kyrie Irving, Isaiah Thomas. We brought in Kemba Walker. That whole thing didn't work out well. I know for a fact Jrue Holiday will be better than Kemba Walker and Isaiah Thomas towards the end of his career. And IT had some good flashes. I was never a big IT guy. But again, I like this move for the Celtics. Again, I really do. I don't know. I have to see it to believe it. And if you didn't know, Celtics, we obviously acquired Jrue Holiday. Very good defensive point guard. Very good offensive offensive point guard as well. But we got rid of Malcolm Brogdon, who I don't hate that. Cash in on his great year last year. Got rid of Rob Williams as well. The Time Lord, you're getting rid of a big defensive asset in the paint. I guess you replace that with Jrue Holiday, so that's kind of a wash. I think it really comes down to Kristaps Porzingis. How healthy can this guy be, and how well is he going to gel with this team? Because if he can gel with this team well, Jrue Holiday, I think, will fit in like a glove. I think it's more Kristaps Porzingis' availability. Availability is the best dependability. That's my word. I think the Celtics have a chance to compete with the Bucks, but right now, gun to my head, it's the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks Eastern Conference. When you look at DraftKings, you look at FanDuel, you look at Barstool Sportsbook, it is going to be the Bucks with the number one odds. Sorry, James. Sorry, Celtics fans. And again, I love this trade. I'm not down on the Celtics. We have a good chance to make a run, but I'm not doing this whole all in on the Celtics until I see it. I've got shot in the foot too many times.
Jeff's already upset. Who knows what he's upset about? But listen, you gotta just give it to the Bucks. I mean, Damian Lillard and Giannis on the same court. It's gonna be too tough. And like Josh mentioned, I mean, Jrue Holiday. I mean, I really like the guard depth now. Williams squared. Saw Josh on that one. Losing, as you mentioned, the heart and souls, of that team. Obviously Tatum, Brown, yada yada yada. But I mean, Marcus Smart and Rob Williams, they provide those electric moments, and obviously Marcus Smart was, this core, this heart and soul of the team, majority of it, getting everyone riled up. So I mean, that's got to be replaced. That can't be understated. But I mean, the Jrue Holiday trade really solves that guard problem. I believe now we got the solid guard depth. Jrue Holiday's perfect point guard for Tatum and Brown's been what I've been wanting for. I mean, I've been willing to even bring Ben Simmons on. It's just a guy just to distribute the ball to Josh. It's a little much. I know some people look at me funny when I say that one, but you just needed a guy to distribute the ball to Brown and Tatum. These guys are the superstars. They're going to get it done every night. They'll just take every other night, those guys between themselves. So just get them the ball, do their thing. Obviously I love Marcus Smart, but sometimes he took the ball a little too much. Sometimes he took some of those erratic shots, but he calmed it down. So, I was a little sad to see him go, obviously, for that one, but no more excuses with Brown and Tatum. We got you the guard. We got you the team that is probably best suited for you guys. I want to see them prove it. I want to see them go out there and get this done. But yeah, as Josh mentioned as well, obviously now it's just the big man problem. Listen, yeah, all right. Good point, Jeff. Good point. I'm just reading the comments now, but I mean, going back, it's a big man problem. I think with our whole team set up, it just depends on Giannis. Kristaps staying healthy. If Porzingis stay healthy and give us a little bit of some of his younger days, I think this Celtics team will be successful and pose a very big challenge to the Bucks and even beat them. But someone's got to be healthy on the big man. We got to figure out how to stop Giannis, and now with Damian over there too. I mean, Dame, it's just looking tough. But I think the Celtics team can do it, Josh. But the Bucks are a little scary right now. Bucks are a little scary, and like I said, hey, I know it's off. It's still in the West, but watch out for the Suns. I mean, they got that depth play now. Obviously, you still got the superstars over there. I love Nurkic over there for that team, and I think they're a little force to be reckoned with in the West. And watch out for them. And sorry to Jared too. Jared Blazers. I like the big men, Josh. I like the big men. I mean, it's cool. You got Aiden and Rob Williams. That'll be electric. But that's not even sarcasm either. I mean, those two good young big men. I mean, they're going to be great in the paint, but it's just not it's not big man's league anymore, Josh. So kind of confused on that, but maybe Jared can tell me what's going on over there.
Agree. I mean, I'm looking at Jeff's going nuts. He's giving us full games. He's showing us the games played for each player. I couldn't agree with Ben's take on this anymore. It all stems to the Celtics history. We know what the Bucks can do. We know what they've done without Damian Lillard. And I agree, Jeff. Our front court is very unguardable. Like it's going to be tough to get to defend against the Celtics if everybody's clicking on all cylinders. That's my thing. And I know everybody's going to sit here and say, well, Damian Lillard hasn't been healthy in his recent career. And, has he ever won on his own? Yes, you're right on that. Last year, I view it as they shut Damian Lillard down. So we can sit here and we can talk about how many games he didn't play last year, but the Blazers basically shut him down. They had a gun. Their hand was forced. He wanted out. I think they knew that. It was going to happen. It was the inevitable. So I'll squash that little debate / banter there. The next thing I want to say is same for the Bucks as for the Celtics. You know, we lost a lot of key depth players as well, and I know I talked about this a little bit earlier as well. I have no problem with Kristaps Porzingis. I have no problem with Jrue Holiday. I actually love Jrue Holiday. I don't even know why I mentioned him.
Same.
I think, and I agree with you. I think Jrue Holiday is gonna. There's no worries at all. He's gonna fit in like nothing. It'll be very similar to Derek White, where it's like immediate impact. You know, starting from day one. Also knows the Bucks very well. I know it's not football where it's like you're running as many plays, but again, like this is a guy who's gonna come in and make a huge impact. And again, I don't want to sit here and say Kristaps won't, but it didn't work in New York. It didn't work in Dallas. And Luka Doncic is probably one of the best basketball players in the world. Again, I know he has different play styles than Tatum and Brown, but I want to see how these three mesh. I'm not ready to sit here and say that we're better than the Bucks because I've seen the Bucks go out and win a championship in the last few years. Again, their team's changed drastically since, but they still have a lot of their core players, and they just got a better core player in Damian Lillard. Jeff, I think the Celtics are pretty much and should be a lock for the Eastern Conference. Right now, it should be like Eastern Conference Finals or nothing. Like, I mean, it should even be like Finals or bust because it's just the same thing. You would think Porzingis and Jrue Holiday, aside from what Damian Lillard acquisition for the Bucks, you would think that the Porzingis and Jrue Holiday could get us over the top. But again, I have to see it to believe it. I couldn't agree with Ben anymore, and I know we're going to get hate because we're two talk show hosts here who shouldn't be agreeing on everything. But again, we see eye to eye on these things, and I hate to be that guy, Jeff, but I have to see it to believe it. And I know what's going to happen. 20 games are going to be in, and I'm going to go all in on the Celtics. I'm going to push all my chips in, similar to like I do with Dallas, and they're gonna fool me in the long run. But right now, I'm being skeptical. Again, and I love the Celtics trades. They did everything right in free agency and in the deadline. They had to move smart. I'm not going to sit here and say that they shouldn't. I'm not going to do that at all. And even moving smart, it looked even better now at Jrue Holiday. I want to throw that in, Ben. But it all comes back to just the same old Celtics. I won't be. I know I'm going to get my Cowboys hating a little bit. We'll talk about them a little later, but same old Cowboys, same old Celtics. Can Brown figure out his dribbling on his left hand? Can Porzingis stay healthy? Can Dak figure it out? Can Mike McCarthy? It's very, very similar stuff. At least the Celtics have made an NBA Finals appearance. Cowboys haven't. So we'll put the Cowboys on the back burner before I get hate for that. But I need to see it to believe it. Right now, Bucks are the favorites. That's all I got. I'm ready to move on to the football. But Ben, I'll leave it to you for final thoughts. But they need to prove me wrong. That's where I'm at with the Celtics.
Yeah, I was delaying it as much as I could. As obviously everyone knows, Josh really was the only one who lucked out this weekend. I wish I could cheer the Cowboys on a little more. I wish I could make fun of the Patriots a little more, but I can't do that right now. But yeah, I mean, with the Celtics and Bucks, it's all fun and games talking about it on paper, but we just got to see it to believe it. Unfortunately, I'm just gonna give it to the Bucks. You got to give it to the Bucks. I mean, this is just it's going to be looked at as one of the more historic trades. It's up there with the LeBrons to Miami, KD, Golden State. It's the new big three. So we got to see, how this new age big three goes. I mean, Giannis is probably the most physically imposing NBA player since Shaq, and Dame, one of the most clutch in a while. I mean, he's just been sort of not rotting away in Portland. They've been trying over there. Portland's just kind of tough. I mean, the West has been tough to win over those years, but now he's finally got a new revival. I mean, he's got the best. I mean, we all thought South Beach was going to be great, but I mean, Milwaukee already won a championship. We got the best player in the NBA right now, some could say. And, nice little Batman on the side, and Chris Middleton. I mean, he already just jumped in a situation, as Josh alluded to too. Brook Lopez. I mean, that guy aging like fine wine, like Josh said. I mean, that guy was just physically imposing, and he adapted to the NBA game of shooting threes as well. So. A little shout out to Brook Lopez, but just gotta give it to the Bucks. Unfortunately, it's 1-2. So I know it kind of stinks to be in Miami right now. I don't really feel too bad for them after last year, obviously. So I like to see that, but yeah, I go 1-2 Bucks Celtics.
Wow, and yeah, we got Charlie. Brooke Lopez should round out that big three, or Bobby
Here we go.
Portis.
Here we go.
Oh well. So.
I'll go Dame, Giannis, and Lopez. That's a nice little big three.
So what about Middleton? I feel like
know.
Middleton.
I'm a big. I'm a Middleton guy. I'm just abusing it. Hey, I'm just abusing it.
Yeah, again, I feel like
trying
that's a good argument to have if you're going back and forth between Middleton and Lopez for who's going to be your number three. You're in a good spot. However, it's football time. What do we start? I mean, I know you didn't want to tell. We don't have to get to the Steelers right away. We've got big questions in New England. I can't emphasize anymore. I mean, Dylan blowing up on me. I thought I've been pretty respectful online. I mean, that was you guys. You guys traveled all the way to Dallas, and we just completely took the souls from you guys. There's a lot of question marks in New England, Ben. We'll get to the Kenny Pickett stuff and the Steelers later. I want to address that because I came out a little strong and hot on the Steelers last week. I'm going to pump the brakes a little. We'll get to that later. We still got our predictions to get to as we always. But let's start it off in New England. You know, the big New England, the big 6 rings. And unfortunately, that time has passed. Just watching that game, I thought 2 things. I thought Dallas's red zone struggles still continue. It was very similar to that Jets game where we just made Zach Wilson turn it over, transition here to Mac Jones, make mistakes, let him screw the game up for us. I mean, put the ball in his hands, eliminate that running game, which again, I can't stress anymore how weird it is that they get in these roles with Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm not even just being biased, this is like factual information. They drive down the field with Ezekiel Elliott and they take the ball out of his hands. They start doing these weird screens. Very weird play calling. Jared coming in and putting a very good point. Through 4 weeks so far, the Patriots have averaged less points with Bill O'Brien this year than they did with Matt Patricia last year. So again, I came on the podcast last week and I said it's copied and paste. The Patriots of last year are the Patriots of this year as well. Maybe even worse. I don't even think they were 1-3 at this point. Big questions in New England. I don't think Mac Jones is the guy. I think Bill Belichick needs a check. Your defense is solid, but again, you can't wide receiver 3 you to death. I think all New England fans need to put that to bed. The Jujus, the throwing in these Jujus, Kendrick Bournes, Pop Douglases, that's fine. Like if we want to give them cookies for making highlight reels and, they broke a couple Cowboys players' ankles, totally fine. That's great. But these players are not going to win you football games, and that's done. You don't have Tom Brady as your quarterback anymore, and I think New England needs to start realizing that. You need to stop trading out of the first round. You need to draft talent, draft number 1 wide receivers. You need a number 1. You haven't had a number 1 since Julian Edelman and Wes Welker, and you had Tom Brady throwing the ball. You don't have that anymore. You lost Jacoby Myers for Juju, which looks terrible. I mean, I could keep going here, Ben. You just lost Christian Gonzalez. I mean, it is a train wreck in a pivotal week later, this is a very interesting week for all 3 of our teams. Of course, Patriots fans are going to rejoice in this 49ers game against Dallas. It'll be their Bonnie Tyler, I Need a Hero. That song, quick little reference there. The 49ers will be their hero if they get that win. But back to the Patriots, Ben. It is a shit show. And I know that this is a PG-13 show. We like to keep it family friendly. Shit show in New England. Worse than what I thought. I mean, I kind of the more I think about it, I think James is kind of right. I know we beat up on, and I'm going to take credit as a Cowboys fan here, Ben, and I'm going to give you a lot of time to talk about this too, but I'm kind of fired up right now because I'm going to take credit as a Cowboys fan, but again, I think more of that beating is more on the Patriots than it is the success of the Cowboys. And I don't want to knock my Cowboys. Again, we're doing what we got to do. We lost that one game against the Cardinals, whatever. But watching that game, New England, you have a lot more problems if you think it's just Mac Jones. I'm sorry to say, your offensive line is a joke. Your wide receivers, we rave about Pop Douglas. We rave about all these guys. And it's the only people who are really putting up production are the tight ends, the Mike Gesicki's, the Hunter Henrys. Douglas is okay, but they need a number 1. Mac Jones isn't the guy. They're in a world of trouble.
He's ready to go. Keep going, Josh. I don't care. Listen, that was the best moment for me. I wish I could soak that in more, Josh. I wish I could have been a little happier. I'm still pretty happy actually with that. I love seeing the Cowboys, just trounce the Pats. I love seeing the Pats in disarray like this. As Josh said, listen, I mean, the Cowboys didn't even do that. I mean, obviously they did well in that game. They did well, but that red zone is still a concern. Dak
Big
was able to
concern.
move the ball, but yeah, I mean, it's just Dak's still able to move the ball and everything, but it's that red zone and just some of the play calling. I know Josh hit it on for the Patriots too, but I mean the Cowboys as well. I don't know why we keep running the ball in some of these kind of strange. They just keep running in some of these short third and two, third and fives, third and six. They kind of just it was more so the last week too, but sort of in the beginning of the game, the Cowboys play calling was a little strange to me. Obviously, once you get two pick sixes, it's pretty easy to call whatever you want in that one. But yeah, the red zone and some weird play calling again, just from I forget who's calling the play over there. Who's calling plays now, Josh? I forget who the
It's
offensive coordinator is.
Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy. It's like a
Show me.
mix.
Oh,
Schottenheimer kind of.
it's probably
It's a disaster.
yeah. So I mean, here we go. He's going to bring up the Cardinals. Yeah, I kind of forgot the Cowboys lost to the Cardinals. Pats 49ers Super Bowl. That's a pretty good one. That'd be pretty good.
I forgot it that we even lost after that beating. Like I have to
forgot
gloat
too.
a little bit. Like guys, Ben, I'm sorry, but
no, you have to, Josh.
I get it. Like we're in two different spots. Like we're contending right now. The Patriots are kind of lost in the mix, but I mean, what the hell? 3 points, 38-3. There's some big issues, Ben. I don't. Again, Dallas, of course. Will it be typical Cowboys? But the Patriots are in a world of trouble, man. They need to figure out their future because aside from Matthew Judon and Christian Gonzalez, there's not many star guys to build your franchise around. And I think we're really realizing that. I know I'm going to get flack for this, but I'm very serious. Like, they're in deep, deep trouble, Ben.
Oh, we got it. Josh asked. Josh is you got to be doing this, Josh. I mean, we know. We know if the Cowboys did what the Patriots did what the Cowboys did to them this weekend. We know where all the Patriots fans would be. They'd be in the comments. So no, this is Josh's time to shine. They beat him down. I mean, listen, I don't want to say I called it last week, but I kind of did. I said 31-10. I said 31-10. I said this is going to be a dominant game for the Cowboys. Didn't know it was going to be this dominant, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, as Josh mentioned, you can't rely on those superstars, Judon and Christian Gonzalez already becoming one. Tough to see them go down already. Looking like, as Jeff mentioned in the comments, probably going to be out for a couple months. So it's, I don't want to say it's over, as Jeff said, but it's pretty much looking as it's over. And just sort of to the other points she mentioned as to why it's over. I mean, yeah, they lost all solid teams, Eagles, Dolphins, and Cowboys, all, playoff teams. But it's just, the Pats got the toughest schedule in the league this year. So, I mean, I think it's pretty much over in that aspect. I mean, they're going to go through this gauntlet of teams and, I'm not saying, hey, I would say we have it either, and Kenny Pickett, but they just don't have the offense. Mac Jones isn't the guy to be able to come up with this. And trust me, Kenny's right behind him. Don't worry, everybody. Kenny is right behind him. Not ready to lead NFL offense, but it's just this offensive line, no good. Probably mirror images of the Steelers and Patriots problems. Offensive line bad, poor quarterback play. We got the wide receivers at least. At least we got some wide receivers. Now she showed out. I mean, I just don't know how we. At least just don't get blown out by the Texans. I wish I could just jump on it, but now every time I start yelling about the Patriots, they just mention the Texans. They mention 30-6.
Yeah, let's hear it. What's your thoughts on that? Let's hear it.
No, it's pretty much the same as the Pats. It's just offense stinks. This offense is awful. I don't know this. I don't know whose fault it is anymore. I don't know. We've been blaming Matt Canada for so long. Maybe it's got to be looking at Kenny Pickett time because that 4th and 1. Obviously, listen. I know everyone's going to the play calling and everything. Blah blah blah. And as I just mentioned, Najee was looking really good. Najee, Jalen Warren. As I mentioned, Najee 71 yards. Yeah, nice little big run. And Warren had a nice little long run in there as well, about a 30-yarder, I believe. But I didn't play football, Josh, but I don't know what Kenny Pickett was doing right there. I know you don't just roll out into the sack. I've never seen a quarterback do that like that. 4th and 1. Let's just kind of obviously, like I said, questionable play calling from Matt Canada, obviously, but Kenny's got to know just there's a lane right there. You just dive right through. You just go get 4th and 1. You just go get it. They were actually blocking decent. Like I said, I wasn't able to see all the game, every single play-by-play, but we were under duress a lot. Offensive line stinks. Like I said, Pats, Steelers, offensive line problems. But it just looks like a couple times Kenny was just ready to run a little too fast. It looked like he was ready to just scramble. He didn't want to just read his progress through his reads. He didn't want to look at everybody. She didn't want to look at all of his options. And yes, she mentioned it. That's what happens when the offense doesn't produce. When the offense just keeps going 4 and out, 3 now, I should say, 3 now, every single drive, the defense gets a little tired. Sneeko Collins, having a big day against us. Another problem, the secondary gets a little exposed. Patrick Peterson stinks. Get this guy out of here after this year. Just another veteran signing. Steelers and Patriots, I think it's not going to be our years. We're probably just hoping for a playoff appearance at best. Maybe just make a little fun at that. But this offense is really concerning me for the Steelers, Josh, and as well as the Patriots. But the Steelers offense just I don't even know. I don't even know what. I didn't even look up Kenny Pickett's situation right now. I know it's a bone bruise. I don't know if he's come back. I forgot who our backup was. I didn't even want to think about it, but I forgot we got Mitch.
Trubisky?
Yeah, it's still Trubisky, so he might be suing up against the Ravens. This offense is in a bad place right now, Josh.
What happens if you go in and you win that game with Mitch?
So with Mitch,
are we just doing this all over again? Is that what's going to happen?
We might, Josh, we might just do it all over again. I don't know what we do because it just puts us in a bind. I don't even want to know about next season. It's just Kenny. Let's just get through this year. I got to see him again, Josh, because I know it's a small sample size, but it's the Texans. Come on. I know CJ, and I think, that's kind of a good sort of comparison with Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett, going up against a guy like CJ Stroud. We just don't have the talented guys right now, Josh. We just don't. We don't have the same guys on the same tiers as a Stroud. Stroud's looking like he's going to be the real deal. So, we beat up on those Texans for a while. They're going to miss all these picks. They're eventually going to hit on one. So we're going to have to deal with this. We're going to have to deal with some of these lower quarterbacks. And I don't know what we do here from Josh, but Kenny Pickett, he's right behind Mac Jones right now, Josh. Right behind.
Ben, not happy there. We're going to get to some of our weekly picks, and we're going to start it off with this. We're going to start it off with the New Orleans Saints. They're rolling right into right into New England. Both these teams fresh off a loss. Both these teams need to get it going. The Saints just lost to the Bucs in a game that Zach was ready to break his controller. And I didn't forget that comment earlier from Zach saying start with how Winston got robbed of a start. I agree. I think Carr is better. But I think they should have started Winston last week. Just see what you got. Have Carr rest. He's got a shoulder issue. And I'm pretty sure it's on the throwing arm, even if it's not. It's just, you're in a competitive division. If you drop a game, Winston's a very capable starter. I think they should have won with him last week. I get that, Zach. If Carr's not ready to go and they're still doing this, he's day to day, just start Winston. You're playing a 1-3 Patriots team. The Bucs are on a bye week. They're probably the Bucs aren't. You're not gonna it's gonna be very similar to how it was last year. You're gonna roll into the playoffs 9-8, 8-9. So it's not the biggest deal in the world if they don't start him. I see Zach with that. Yeah, Winston is the key to this offense. I don't know if I go that far, but Ben, I'm going to turn it to you. Your thoughts for this game. How's it going to end? Your thoughts on the Winston, Carr, predictions, Pats, Saints, 1 o'clock in New England.
I'm just pulling up I just want to make sure I got my right picks on there because, this game's a toss-up, Josh. This game is
very close.
A little toss-up. Two teams kind of struggling now as Josh. Good call by Josh right there, bringing up that comment. I remember too, Zach, and that's a great call by Zach. 100% behind him on that one. Definitely should have sat Carr. I was really surprised they played him even. It didn't look like a good hit the week prior. It did not get up. He got up pretty slowly. It looked more serious. It looked like a season ending something. It looked like along those lines. So I was surprised to see him even be able to suit up this week. So I was a little surprised by that after a Bucks team that was kind of exposed, No, I mean, let's not, I mean, it's the Eagles are one of the best teams in the league, but everyone was pretty high on the Bucks. They kind of got exposed right there. I thought Winston would be able to, throw on that defense. I mean, that defense isn't as bad, isn't as good as it once was. I mean, we still got Olave. Thomas is starting to get back in the groove. Kamara back from his suspension. So, I mean, Winston has plenty of options. So I was kind of surprised, by starting Carr. I think that really just crippled them. He just didn't look good out there. So I think he definitely needs to play right now. As Josh mentioned too, we're going to use back on that second comment from Zach. I know he's just trolling. I was having a fun time. Winston's not the key to the offense. Derek Carr is, but when he's healthy, and even Kamara, Kamara, slowly sort of getting into it last game. So hopefully he can make another step into it. It's tough coming into the season at this point. I know it's so early, but it still takes a couple of weeks to get going. So I'd like to see that from Kamara. But yeah, we got to start Winston in this one against the Steelers secondary. Patriots secondary that is vulnerable. Injuries, as we mentioned, Gonzalez and obviously linebacker Judon out, the captain of that defense. So it's going to be a vulnerable defense, especially secondary. So I think you start Winston, but I forgot I took them, Josh. I'm just going to get to my pick. I forgot I took this one, but I'm taking the Patriots. I don't know why I took them. I'm going to roll with what I was thinking earlier. As I started talking right there, I was kind of convincing myself on the Saints, but
I was confused because
I was kind of convincing myself of the Saints, but that's why I wanted to double check the pick. But I don't know. I think something New England is get right game for the Patriots at home. Like I said, it's going to be a tough schedule. You're going to have to get some of these tough wins. Jameis, to be honest, hopefully, either of the quarterbacks will do for the Patriots right now. I think you still got to give Bill credit on the defensive side. He'll come up with some of these crazy schemes for the Saints to stop the Saints offense, whether Winston or an injured Carr. So I got the Patriots in this one. So I just wanted to double check. But yeah, so Jeff actually coming in with that one. Yeah, the Patriots probably going to lose, actually. I think they're going to win. So sucks to suck, but I got the Patriots.
Yeah, it's a very big game, Ben. You look at both these teams. Yeah, very toss up game. I mean, all three of our Saints. I mean, Zach Saints, Patriots, Steelers, Cowboys, all in very good games this week. And this is sink or swim for the Patriots this weekend, Ben. You go 1-4, you're done. In that AFC, I know the Bengals right now are they're holding on at 1-3 and could be 1-4 this week. But I look at this Patriots team and I look at that loss last week, and again, yes, Dallas is a solid team and we can live on the morale wins and the morale, that's fine, the moral stuff, but this Saints team's a hungry Saints team as well. I think they're just as good as you. I know you're at home, but again, you have no Judon. You have no Gonzalez. Your offensive line is battered and banged up. I know the Saints have their issues, but again, I almost kind of agree with Zach. I think Winston gives them a very good chance to win this game, and I think that's what's going to happen. I like the Saints in this 20-14. I think the Saints have a very underrated defense. I think they're in contention to win their division, something that the Patriots aren't. I think the Patriots have a very tough stretch right now. You look at Mac Jones. I know they're going to be kind of fired up to play this week, but I think last week was kind of the nail in the coffin. I really do. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm a Cowboys fanatic. I'm one of the biggest Cowboys fans you'll ever meet. But again, I think a lot of that had to do with how in serious trouble the Patriots are. As you mentioned last week, Ben, it was kind of a perfect storm for the Patriots. But this Saints team is a tough team. This is a Saints team that I look on paper and I say, as a Cowboys fan, ooh, that's a tough matchup. Each and week in and week out. I like the Saints 20-14. I do. Even though they're on the road and their quarterback's kind of hobbled. I mean, you look at the Patriots, their quarterback's kind of hobbled too. And Mac Jones has never been out there and has ever won them a game. Like, ever been like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and win this game for the Patriots. It's mostly been relied on by the defense or some type of special teams screw up for the other opposing team against the Patriots. I like the Saints 20-14. I think Zach's going to be singing and parading on Bourbon Street. So I like the Saints 20-14.
Hopefully, I get to see that too. I'll be rooting for the Saints anyways, just so I can see Zach partying. But I don't know. I got a good feeling about the Patriots in this one, Josh. I feel like when Bill's got his back up against the wall, he always gets a win. I don't know. I got to double check that with Zach said. The last time Winston played, they beat him. I got to double check that one. I don't know if he did.
I'm not sure on that one. I see Denise is not happy with my take. You just put up 3 points. You put up 3 points. I mean, at least the Saints, Romo's going crazy. Romo agrees. At least the Saints, like they lost to a Bucs team that, I mean, you want to talk about morales. They've been in every game. They played the Eagles just as hard as you did. They've like earned the term of morale. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you can go with the Patriots. I really don't after that week. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a hater. But I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna go with the Saints. We're gonna transition over here. This is Ben's team here. Another story where you're kind of just saying the same thing. I mean, I'm gonna make it short and sweet. Oops. I like the Ravens in this one. I think that they are very much in contention to win that division. The Bengals have kind of taken a step back. The Steelers don't know what the situation is for Kenny Pickett. As much as we hate on Kenny Pickett, I think Mitch Trubisky's just as worse. If not, they don't even have Joshua Dobbs. I don't know who their third guy is. They're going to put in the punter. Oh, Mason Rudolph. Oh, boy. So
I wish we had Josh Jobs. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Ravens by 10 or more. I'm sorry, Ben. I just... Kenny Pickett, you lost to the Texans. I was all in on the Steelers last week and kind of a get-back game. I like the Ravens 27-17 at the most, maybe 27-10. This Ravens team looks very good. I don't know how. Your defense can't do everything for you, and the offensive calling hasn't been the best. The guys haven't produced as well as they could. I think you're really hurting without Deontay Johnson right now, as much as he's fumble and Mr. Block Hands McGee. But I like the Ravens as much as it pains me to say. I'm going to take them 27-17.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ravens this one. I can't take them after last week. I trusted them with easy Texans win, what I thought was an easy win, but I guess this Texas team decided to show up. Actually, the last 2 weeks they decided to show up. Nice wins over the Jags and Steelers in convincing manner, but yeah, there's just no way you can take the Steelers in this one. Just with all the concerns and everything, Ravens rolling right now. Listen, this would be great for the division. We could. I was hoping this was going to be a nice sort of divisional game for the division lead. I was hoping we were going to be 3-1, just like the Ravens. But I think this is, if we can get a miraculous win, tied for the division lead with the Bengals in disarray and Browns with the Watson injury concern. But yeah, I think the Ravens are going to take advantage of this. The Ravens are just, even with all their injuries, that offense is just flowing, just beat up on, like I mentioned, the Browns, obviously, without Watson, but it's still really good defense. I mean, hey, DTR wasn't a bad college quarterback. They got weapons on the offensive side a little, but Browns kind of get hurt by injuries as well. But they just steamrolled the Browns last week. So the Ravens are on a path right now. Lamar looking good. Mark Andrews fully healthy. I just don't know who's going to cover Mark Andrews. Then, I think about Zay Flowers and OBJ possibly coming back. I just don't think the defense will be able to contend with it. So I got the Ravens. Ravens, any quarterback plays. Pickett, Trubisky, throw Rudolph into there too.
It's just hard to take the Steelers right now.
Yeah,
If Kenny
they
Pickett
can.
plays, you never know. And hey, it is a divisional game. Anything can happen. But the Ravens, they look poised right now. I'm not saying that they're going to be an AFC favorite. I mean, and again, I want to stress this: the AFC's open.
They might.
The Chiefs aren't invincible, but they could be. Ravens could be an AFC favorite. Bills. Wow, did they prove me wrong last week? Want to give Jared and the
Same.
the Bills Mafia a quick credit there. They had that game circled and they said everybody needs to calm down with the Dolphins talk. We're the best team. This is still our division. Not out on the Dolphins yet fully, but they still got a game in Miami. Maybe they split it. That's okay. But yeah, Bills looked very good last week. Want to throw that one out there. But yeah, it's hard to just not go. It's hard to not go with the Ravens for me, Ben. I'm sorry. I know you get it. He gets it more than anybody here.
Ravens. It's tough. It's tough. I don't want to pick them either. It hurts me, but
yeah, it pains. This is probably what the matchup on paper everybody's looking forward to seeing. That's the Dallas Cowboys rolling into San Francisco. This is a huge. I mean, San Francisco has beaten us like 2 or 3 times in a row, 2 times in the playoffs in a row. They're our arch nemesis right now. They're pretty much they run us. They stole our lunch money. They're the bully that you want to take down. And this is a game I'm very conflicted on. You know, I try to keep it real. I keep it honest as a Cowboys fan. And I do overall think Dak... I have faith in Dak. I still believe Dak can win us a championship. I still do. There's still some question marks, and I know I still kind of have to see it to believe it. I do have the rear brakes on. But I am going to take my Cowboys in this one, and I'm going to explain to you why.
Here we go.
I'm going to explain to you why. One, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. You're not going to see me say the Cowboys are going to lose very often. 2, I loved what I saw last week. The only concerns I have is in the red zone, and I think we're going to be able to kind of adjust that a little bit this week. If you've watched any of the 49ers games, their run defense isn't the best. I think Dallas needs to be able to control that. Their secondary is great. Their pass rush is very, very good. I think if we don't have Tyron Smith, who I want to absolutely send to the airport, I'm done with this like up and down every week. Like his best days are behind him. I don't care. I know he'll come out and probably play great in this next game, and then he'll get hurt 2 games later. Availability is the best dependability, and this guy cannot stay healthy for anything lately. We pay him a shit ton of money. It's so frustrating. But again, I think Dallas is going to get it done 23-20, 23-17, close game. We're a regular season team. Everybody's calling us a regular season team. They hate us, all these Patriots fans, the media. We can't get anything done in the postseason. Well, guess what? This is a regular season matchup. I think the Dallas Cowboys have this game circled. We don't have Diggs. That's okay. But again, their secondary is not the best. Their run defense hasn't been amazing. I think we can get the job done here. If we don't, we're going to have a very long discussion about the Cowboys moving forward next week. But again, I got to have faith in my boys. I have faith that they can go in, and if you're a championship team, you're not going to roll on your back and say, "Oh, the 49ers have beat us the last 2-3 times. We can't go in there and win." Even as a fan, I have to have some faith. I think we can do it. I'm not completely sold on Brock Purdy yet. I know he fits that system very well. But again, I didn't see him wow us in that playoff game. They kind of just... It all kind of came down to Dak. Dak made a couple bad decisions. I think if you look at Dak a lot this year, I think the issues in the red zone have to do with him being very careful. I think we're going to get this win. I'm going to say 23-17, and I want to just throw this out here for a lot of Dak haters. Everybody in the division has thrown 2 or 3 more interceptions than him. All year we had to hear about, all offseason I had to hear about how much Dak is a turnover machine. Well, guess what? He's got the best quarterback rating in the division. He only has 1 interception in that stupid throw he made against the Cardinals. Maybe we'll see 1 against the 49ers, but guess what? I want to see Dak bounce back. I think we'll be fine. Maybe get him involved a little bit, rushing the ball in the end zone. And this is going to be Pollard's game. Gotta friggin' get him into the end zone. Dowdle, too, he's been pretty good. I'll say Dallas wins 23-17. We've got this game check marked here. We've had this circled for a while. This is a big, big game in the NFC. This shapes up a lot.
Love to hear Dak getting a little more rushing. Let's get Dak's fantasy numbers up. Need some Dak touchdowns in this one, Josh. A little selfish interest on my own end, but unfortunately, I don't have the faith. I'm going to go Niners. Like we've been talking about, safe pick. Safe picks all around. Christian McCaffrey just put on the show last week, so I don't know how you can. Another team is just kind of hard to bet against right now, and Debo didn't even do anything. Thanks again, Debo, for 0 points last week. But Debo wasn't even a part of that offense. I know it's the Cardinals, and say what you want about them, but they've been in every single game this year. Cardinals fought hard, so that was Rob's already in here. Yeah. What's up, Rob? Here we go. He's probably gonna say something about it, but I gotta go 49ers. Here we go, Texans. Yeah, we already addressed it, Rob. We already got who cares about the Texans? Watch out for the Texans. Sneaky wild card team, maybe. Just throw it out there. But no, I got the 49ers. It's going to be a classic. Listen, Sunday night, going to be a good game. I don't think they steamrolled the Cowboys. Cowboys are legit. Cowboys going to put a good showing out there, but I think I should have played Terry. But I think the Cowboys fall short. I think they get everyone going. I think they prove a lot of people wrong. Put on a game. I don't think they're going to get steamrolled. So I got 28-24 49ers.
That's fair. We haven't been able to beat them yet. Can I get to a couple comments before we get to our locks of the week? We've got, he's saying them Texans, Josh 0-4, Rob 2-2. He's right. He's saying this because we made a little bet. We took the two. He took the worst team in the AFC. I took the worst team in the NFC. We've got a nice little bet going on. It's like a fun bet. I got the Bears. They can't friggin' figure it out at all. I'm in deep, deep trouble. But, hey, Jeff, I will say if Brandon Ayuk goes for 215 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Cowboys somehow manage to win, I'll be so happy because I have Brandon Ayuk on my fantasy team, and he's been killing it for me. I'm second in my points league right now, which is unbelievable. Tough league. But, I like Dallas in that one. I like him. We're gonna prove you guys wrong. And guess what? I don't know how much I believe it, but, hey, you got to believe it as a Cowboys fan. Got to wear that. I wear that blue and white every week. All right. Giants rolling into Miami. This is a lock. I don't know if you saw the Giants last night. They look abysmal. Miami, they ran into a tougher opponent. They ran into the Bills in Buffalo. Very tough matchup. This Miami team's pissed off. They lost their first game of the season. They just put up 70 points 2 weeks ago. They're going to annihilate the Giants. I'm going to say they win this game by 17 or more points. I think Tua's going to go nuts. Tyreek Hill has been contained the last couple weeks. I like the Dolphins 34-10, maybe 24 points. Yeah, 34-10. They're gonna annihilate. This is my lock of the week. I'm very certain, and Romo thinks so too.
This is a nice layup for the Dolphins. Good bounce back game, and as Josh alluded to, it's pretty tough to be Steelers and Patriots fans right now, but at least we're not Giants fans. That was really bad. And talking about offensive line performances, that was one of the worst I've ever seen. But shout out to my Seahawks defense, 11 sacks, 29 fantasy points. So, but that offensive line for the Giants, five of them in the first 3 rounds in the last 3 years. I believe I got that stat right. Who knows? But they've spent a lot. Let's just say they spent a lot of first round and high picks on offensive linemen, and it hasn't really panned out too well. Daniel Jones, you gotta feel bad for the guy. He's a good quarterback. I think he can be a good quarterback in the NFL, but he's got no time in there. That was just really bad to watch last night, and I'm gonna back that 100%. Dolphins get right, easy one over here. For my lock, Lions over the Panthers. Sorry, Ray, but the Panthers kind of tough right now. I know Josh. Josh doesn't like it. I don't know if Josh likes it now. You like that, Josh?
I love it. I'm just doing because sorry, Ray.
They're looking out. Sorry, Ray.
I think Bryce Young will be okay, but
Yeah, they got to figure out another team. Got to figure out the weapons around him and everything. But the Lions really impressed me Thursday night, just being up on a good Green Bay team, going to Green Bay. I thought Jordan Love had a better performance than that, but they really shut Jordan Love down. Got after him. That defense is legit, obviously. And Dave Montgomery coming to town. I mean, Montgomery coming back from that injury. Are they ever going to use Gibbs? You never know, but that's a nice 1-2 punch that they have over there. St. Brown stepping up as usual, and Sam Laporta filling out a Hawkinson role and making people forget about him already. And Hawkinson hoop, so it's Laporta time over there. I love the Lions in this one. I think they rolled the Panthers at home. And the Lions force to be reckoned with in that NFC. I think watch out for them because that South. As you mentioned, it was wide open. It wasn't as open as not the South, the East. No, was it the West? Where are they? Like whatever division they are. A little brain fart. It's open, and I think it's the Lions right there. And what is it? The North? Yeah, the North. I don't know how I forgot that right there. I went through every single one, and I didn't hit the North, but it wasn't as open as the South. I got those a little confused, but I think the Lions control that right now, Josh.
I agree. I think that, to your point, I mean, I think they're going to they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to have a home playoff game. They're probably going to win that division. I mean, I think the Packers aren't too far behind. But like you said, they went into Green Bay, and that was a big win. Now, the next time they play Green Bay, it's going to be at home. So, again, I agree with that. I think it's a very safe lock. We don't even know if Bryce Young's gonna play. And again, I feel bad for him. Mingo. I mean, I'm not like sold. I know you and James had this conversation like 2 weeks ago. You're giving him like Adam Thielen as the number one, and no disrespect to Adam Thielen, but he's not a number one anymore. Was he really ever a number one? So great number two in his prime. Like, I mean, that's. But again, I feel bad for that. I feel bad for Ray. Ben, you want to go with you want to go back to backs? You want to go with your upset here?
It's a juicy one. I got a juicy one. My upset of the week, I got the Vikings over the Chiefs. Vikings over the Chiefs. You heard it here, folks. Something about that Chiefs team. Little cracks in the armor. Monday night, obviously. Sunday night, I should say, excuse me. But so I didn't watch it. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I kind of passed out. But I saw some of those questionable calls in that game. Obviously, that PI. Really don't know where that PI was and that pretty blatant hold. I don't know how you really missed that one. So kind of tough on that. But I think the Vikings at home. I think the Chiefs just, I think they're just due for a loss. I think the Vikings, got a nice, good bounce back win finally. Get on the boards against the Panthers. They need to rattle off some wins to even just stay in contention of the South, North, and even that wild card game. So I think the Vikings get this one plus 200. If anybody wants to get a little cash on it, I like that one. Listen, I don't know any spreads. Just take a money line. Go Vikings. I think it's a big game for Justin Jefferson too. Justin Jefferson, maybe Jordan Addison getting back on the board as well.
To hear that, I got him in that fantasy league I was talking about earlier.
Addison.
Something about the Vikings, I don't know, but I actually do think that the Chiefs, there's some cracks in the armor there. They're not invincible. I will say that. However, my upset of the week, I think James talked me into this one. I was like, you know what? I kind of like it. And I think that's going to be the Arizona Cardinals are going to stun
I like that
Dylan against the Cincinnati Bengals at home. The Red Sea's going to be going crazy. And you talked about this earlier. I know they lost by like 15 more points, 16 points to the San Francisco 49ers. But guess what? They're not playing the Niners anymore. They're playing a banged up offensive line and a banged up Joe Burrow. The Bengals are only going to go as far as Joe Burrow takes them. I like the Cardinals in this one. I'll say 24-23. I'll say it's a thriller. It's a close game, but the Cardinals figure it out. Joshua Dobbs, they get the RPOs going. I like the Cardinals in that. As always, I'm going to turn it to Ben to end the show, but I want to say this. The Celtics, we'll get to I'll wrap up the whole show quickly here. The Celtics, again, I love them. I believe that we can make a deep run in the playoffs, but I need to see it to believe it. I need to see them head-to-head wise against the Bucks. See how that goes. And again, the Bucks have won a championship. You haven't. The Bucks got better. You also got better. History shows you still haven't. I don't know. I need to see it to believe it for the Celtics. Dallas, this is a game they're circled for a while. I hope they can finally do it. I think they're going to do it. We need to just contain CMC. If you can somehow do that, they've got weapons all over the field. But I believe we can go in there and win. We're going to win 23-17. Dallas is going to shock the world.
Thank you, Josh. I like it. You got to support the Cowboys. I'd love to see a little upset too. But I got to be a little more realistic. I got to have real Josh in sometimes. But I mean, that's going to be the best game of the week, I think, on the docket for the upcoming NFL Sunday. I always appreciate everyone listening, tuning in, comments. Shout out Rob showing up at the end. Bears 0-16. I don't think so. Bears will get a win eventually. They're bad, but they're not really. They're not that bad. Not Lions bad. So, like Josh said, Bucks. Like Josh and I said, Bucks #1 right now. Celtics 2. We gotta see it to believe it. But I like this Celtics team. I got a lot of faith in Jrue Holiday, and it's great to be a Cowboys fan. It's all right to be a Steelers and Patriots fan right now, Josh, but thank God we're not Giants fans.